Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talking About Balls. I am Justin George, joined as always by Kyle Price. Kyle, what city are you in today?
Columbus tonight.
Columbus, the old Columbus. He's down there for a huge Blue Jackets pre-playoff rally. He's a diehard fan. Little did you know. Nobody knew that.
Not even I knew that, but hey, it's nice to know.
Yeah, hey, Kyle turned 47 last week. People change as he's getting older. He's now a hockey guy. He's diehard. He's down there at rallies and stuff. He's getting ready to paint his chest and head out for the night as soon as this wraps up. That's why we're early.
I did in a Tesla protest today. I saw a couple of them while I was driving around this town tonight. Figured I took part, jumped out, made a sign, stood by the side of the road, yelled at people.
I saw one a couple of weeks ago by me, but it was not at a Tesla dealership. It was like in front of, if you're familiar with Strongsville on Pearl Road, kind of by the mall, there's like an Aldi and stuff like that. They were kind of in that parking lot as I drove by, and I just kind of looked, and I'm like, of all the places to have a Tesla boycott, you're doing it in front of a grocery store. I don't really understand
two of them that I saw today were in front of Tesla dealerships. The other one I saw was downtown in front of Nationwide Arena, which was weird to me because I don't
understand. Blue Jackets. There we go.
Well, but because we had a meeting at the convention center there today, and so we walk out and there's like 15 people. But what's funny to me is if you walk down a block in the parking garage, there's like 2 levels of Tesla charging stations where all these Teslas were parked at, like Tesla trucks, Cyber trucks. I'm like, if they're going to protest, shouldn't they protest in front of actual cars? I don't know, whatever. People are idiots.
You would think, but yeah, no, a lot of it doesn't make any sense. I don't really get the whole protesting thing. Like, I get it. If you don't want a Tesla, if you want to be at the dealership, totally fine. If you're protesting people from buying them, but people that already have them, do you really think someone's going to go, you know what? I'm going to just get rid of this. I'm going to buy a whole new car because you guys are yelling at me. That's not how that works.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. But hey, you know what? People can do their own thing. It doesn't bother me at all. It's just funny to me. But
God bless America. That's it. Freedom of protest.
Early this morning, got to a hotel. I'm sitting here. I'm tired. I'm like, that's why I text you. Like, can we go a couple minutes early? Because like I'm like dozing off. I just ordered food. I'm like, I'm gonna get food in my stomach and be out for the night. So,
yeah, we were putting Teddy in the bath, so we got a little bit of a. We were able to start a little earlier than normal, but yeah, I was really excited. We finished our cleanse. Sorry, I'm listening and paying attention. I'm just doing the sharing. But yeah, we were doing that cleanse for the last couple of weeks, and then obviously. We were supposed to record last week, but Kyle had bowling, and I totally get it. They're nearing the playoffs, so we decided to push back to this week. I was going to do that What the Flick, but same thing, thought better of it because I'm like, you know what, I'm on this fucking cleanse. I don't want to do a movie watch-along where I can't eat popcorn, I can't have a beer. I literally have to eat like vegetables and drink water. So I was like, that kind of takes the fun out of it. So I messaged George, and I'm like, we're going to push that back till after the draft. So our first live stream attempt at watching something and doing a live stream will be next Thursday for the NFL draft for round 1. I'm very excited to do that. I've been working with George as of today. Kyle can attest. He saw that we my daughter's waving at the camera, Tara said. She hears me. But yeah, so we had George is working on the background for the show next week for the draft, and his first one, not gonna lie, didn't love it. I texted Kyle and I'm like, kind of looks like the Jamaican flag. I told George that it really did. It was cool. Like, I get it, he's incorporating the Green Bay colors because it's in Green Bay, Wisconsin this year, but I'm like, to quick glance, it looks like a reggae music or something, so we got to work on that a little bit. Like, I wanted it to look a little more draft like, so George is working on one that has the stage in the background and all that shit. Very cool. Very excited for that. So that'll be next Thursday at pretty much 8 o'clock on the nose. I'm a solo dad, but I'll be putting Teddy to bed at 7. She goes down pretty easily. And then I will be going live in the den. I've yet to do that, so I'm pretty excited to give that a shot.
Yeah, I'll go live from my office at home and put the TV on in the background, and we'll watch it together and go from there. So.
Yeah. Just so everyone out there knows, obviously there are delays with TVs. I have YouTube TV. I'm sure people out there have,
I have Hulu Live, so that's just doesn't.
Yeah, and then I'm sure there's people out there that have like Spectrum or Cox actual cable, and that tends to be a little faster. So let's not spoil picks for everybody. Let's wait till everybody let's let the show dictate where we're at with the picks. Let's put it that way. because again, I'd like to be surprised. I think it'll be cool to give live reactions, and then if people want to put in the comments, I plan on sending the stream link out to friends and stuff if people want to jump on. And if you're a fan of a different team, you want to give me your thoughts on your team before they pick, you want to give me your thoughts on your team after they pick. Down for all of that. We want as much interaction as possible, and we will go from there. But yeah, I'm really excited for it. That'll be next Thursday. One thing I just thought of now, which good thing I thought of it now and not next Thursday, is I might have to just go with my normal computer audio, which I don't love, but I do have my mic here, but I don't have a way to set that up downstairs. So,
I forgot. I'll be traveling next week. I'll be in Cincy next week, so I will be live
on Thursday.
Yeah, I'll be live from a hotel room doing it. So
Kyle will be live from the Cincinnati Cuck Chair, and that is not the name of a minor league team. That is real.
Here's the one we have.
A good one.
It's a Cuck couch.
Ooh, that's a nice one. Damn, you got like a whole suite.
Yeah, they upgraded me. I don't upgrade myself, but I've been building up enough points. So as I book these rooms, and then I can do check-in through the app. So because I only book at Hilton, so I book through the app and whatever, reserve my room, and I get the notification today that my room got moved to a different room, and I show up and I'm like, fuck, I got upgraded. All right, I'll take it.
Does that hotel have where you can open your door with your phone?
Yeah, so everything.
I love that feature. I'm a Hilton guy myself. I love that feature at Hilton hotels. That's my favorite.
I love nothing better than walking past the front desk and just going right.
Yeah, you don't have to talk to anybody. You literally check in on your phone. You can open up your door from your phone, and then you just leave. There's no interaction. It's so nice. I love Hilton. I'm a huge fan myself.
Depend on what hotel you stay at. Certain rooms have room controls. So this one has TV lighting. Let's see here. This one has. Yeah, TV and lighting controls off the app itself because it's upgraded, so it's kind of cool. But yeah, so I like it. I love it. I deal with people all day at work. The little people interaction I can have when I'm trying to come and relax, the better for me. So
yeah, that's like the get in the Uber with your headphones on type move of I'm done talking with people. Please just leave me be.
Yeah, it's nice. It's amazing.
Yeah, so the last few weeks for me, pretty simple. I'm trying to think of anything important. I mean, we were on that cleanse. That was pretty much it. Had some family birthday parties, went out for your birthday. Officially done with the cleanse as of Monday of this week. I checked in.
What'd you eat?
To celebrate?
Yeah.
Honestly, nothing too crazy. I had a hot dog with a bun, which was exciting because I hadn't had bread in 3 weeks. So I had hot dog with a bun, and then at night I had a couple chips and some snacks basically, but nothing crazy. My stomach definitely shrunk.
Basically some carbs, just to
pretty much. So I ate some snacks. Literally nothing too wild. For your birthday, when we went out on Saturday, technically I was still in the cleanse, but I did drink. I had a bunch of vodka tonics, and I had one beer because I really wanted to try that raspberry thirsty dog beer that they had up at that bar.
How was it?
Fantastic. So I told Tara, I'm like, I know I'm not supposed to have beer, but I'm like, I have to try this because I've never seen it before, and I love raspberry shit. So yeah, then today I was really excited. I was craving to go to a bar and enjoy a bar. So we went to Slim and Chubby's and hit up their happy hour, had a couple of drinks, some food. But again, my stomach has definitely shrunk, so I only ate half of everything, brought it home. It'll give me a snack tomorrow. But because I grabbed a beer for the episode just because I'm very excited to have a beer.
There you go. It's amazing, man.
But yeah, dropped 19 pounds. I can notice the difference. My love handle shrunk significantly. My belly shrunk significantly. So that's the key factor and the main goal. So it worked out perfectly. I'm not trying to get back into my old ways of eating shit all the time because I pretty much I got lazy and I was just like, fuck it. We have the kid. It's easier to just be like, let's order food. Let's go grab something quick rather than cooking. But during that 3 weeks, you're cooking every night. You're buying healthy foods. It kind of puts you back into a rhythm. So yeah, I was excited to go to happy hour today, but again, I didn't go overboard. I got a cheese quesadilla and some tater tots. And again, I ate half of each and brought it back. So nothing crazy, but, and only had a couple beers, but, the cleanse worked. It did well. The worst part was not being able to have it. I don't mind black coffee, don't get me wrong, but being the only thing I was allowed to have caffeine wise was black coffee, and you're only supposed to have 8 ounces a day was not enough. I'm a guy that goes to Dunkin' and I get a large iced coffee, and then that's at 7 a.m. And then at about 2 p.m., I'm ready for another cup of coffee. I drink coffee all day. So that was tough. But I did find something new that I'm actually a really big fan of. And I'm going to email them and see if they want to be a potential sponsor. And I doubt it, but I'm going to try. They're called Grinds. Hard to see, but they're called Grinds is the company.
Okay.
And they sell coffee pouches. So they have flavors of like cinnamon roll and different things like that. And it's literally like a tobacco pouch, but it's coffee grounds. This one, though, however, is just energy. So it's 80 milligrams of energy. Again, looks like a tobacco pouch. That's what they look like. I have one in right now. But there's no nicotine, no tobacco, nothing like that. It's literally, quote unquote, all natural caffeine. I have wild cherry flavor. The reason they hooked me was because I saw an ad. I've bought this company before. I bought the coffee flavored ones. And I saw an ad the other day on Facebook or whatever that said they had a dill pickle flavored energy pouch. And I love pickle stuff. So I was like, I'm intrigued. And it said with any purchase, you get a free pickle container. And I was like, well, let me see how much they are. So I look on there and they had a peach flavor also. And I'm like, all right, I'm a sucker for peach. So if I buy the peach, I get the pickle for free. As I'm checking out, they give me a code and they're like, hey, you also get a free wild cherry flavor. I'm like, God damn, 2 free cans for the price of one. So I'm like, check. I'll take all of them. And I absolutely
what was the price of one?
I think I got because I had to get it delivered. It was cheap. I think total I spent like $10. So I think if you get one by itself, it's like $6 maybe. Supposedly these are sold in stores. Like if you go to like certain convenience stores or vape shops or whatever, these are sold in stores. But I was like, I'm lazy and I wanted to get the free ones from the website, so I bought them off of there. And yeah, the three cans cost me $10, and I love them. They last for at least like an hour. They have good flavor. Surprisingly, I love the wild cherry probably the most. That's my favorite one, but they're great. And again, they're like all natural. They don't have any tobacco, no nicotine, nothing like that. So they're not like, making you feel sick. They're not rotting your teeth or anything like that. It's just caffeine. So I love it. It's 80 milligrams. It's like a Coca-Cola.
Do they work? I mean, do you feel energy? Do you feel awake? Is it a placebo or?
Placebo, I would say. Like I pop it in if I'm feeling a little drowsy at work. I'm just sitting at the computer, but it keeps you energized because you taste it. So it's like something. It is, not what's the pause? The kids say pause. It's an oral stimulation pause.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's no different than like cigarette smokers. When cigarette smokers quit, they like try to find they like snack. They need like something. So it's similar to that. But no, I love them. I plan on getting more. I'm going to email them and be like, hey, I don't want any money, but if you guys want to throw me some cans, I'm happy to fucking pop one in every show and talk about it. So we'll see how that goes. But
I can see it's interesting. Kind of like with me and Mike, I have a 5-hour energy every day. Like, I mean, if I'm out and about traveling around, I'll pick one up. I don't think they work. I think that's a placebo thing too. But to me, when I take one, I feel like, all right, I'm refocused. Let's go. And I'm sure it's nothing. It's just my mind telling me that, okay, you took this. Now you're focused and ready to go again, so whatever.
And I'm the same way. Like I love caffeine in general. Like I'll drink a coffee all day. I love energy drinks. I get the zero sugar, makes me feel like I'm doing something all right. The Monster Zero Sugar Fiesta Mango is my favorite I'm a mile a minute right now. That's because I got to go to a bar today, Devin. I'm excited about that. That got me all charged up. I was looking up happy hours today. I was texting Tara. I'm like, all right, let's go here. Let's go there. Because I'm sitting at work and I'm thinking, I'm like, man, we moved to Strongsville, obviously. And I'm like, the only bar near us is the Office. And then I thought about it. I'm like, no, I'm an idiot. Literally across the street from the Office bar is Brew Kettle. There's a BW3. They're not like your local dive bar, but it's still a bar. So I'm like, well, shit, we have all these places that we don't even go to. But then I Googled happy hours and Slim and Chubby's had a good happy hour. So that's where we ended up going. But
there you go.
Yeah, I got a couple draft beers and some quesadilla, and I'm feeling good. But yeah, I'm ready to roll. I dropped 19 pounds. I'm a new man. I'm just in time for the summer. I get to cut my grass soon. I'm fucking dreading that.
I was just like, you're excited about that? I thought you were like,
no, I'm just going to tell everybody I can't cut it. Like I have to wait till end of May because it saves the bees. That's what I was told. Don't cut your grass now because the bees need it for pollination. So I'm just going with that. And bees are near extinction. So I'm letting the grass grow. Fuck it.
Have not heard that. I cut my grass 2 days ago on Monday. I cut the front grass, but I dethatched it because I planted all new grass seed last year in fall before the winter hit, and because there was patchiness in the front. So I dethatched a couple areas in the front, cut the grass, like just kind of took the top layer off a little bit, and that was it. So, but the front yard looks so much better. That there's just patchy spots of tall growth and not tall growth. So love it all out. But I've never heard the bee thing before. That's new. Plus, I don't think we have any bees out by my house though. If I'm looking around, I remember I have wasps.
So they're extinct. So we know a guy who actually raises bees and makes his own honey and stuff like that. And like that's a big thing. They said that they're going extinct. And Devin, I am down, dude. I used to go to Crystal Keg back in the day when I was like 20. That's old school. I used to live down the street from there, and all my coworkers used to go up there. And I'm very familiar with the Crystal Keg. So I'm down with that, man. Let's get together.
Never heard of Crystal Keg before.
It's in Parma Heights on York Road, right over by Antonio's. I forgot the street, the cross street, but it's just past Tri-C, basically. If you go a little further past Tri-C on York Road into closer to like Ridgeville, or not Ridgeville, I'm sorry, Royalton.
I think one reason I only have to come to Parma is if I ever go out to
Truthfully, it's closer to Strongsville. So like it's the Sprague. I think it's Sprague, the street where Home Depot is by my house on like Pearl.
Yeah.
If you go down Sprague and take it to York, it's like Crystal Keg's right on the corner.
Okay. All right.
So it's pretty much like I said, it's like North Royalton / Strongsville, Parma Heights border. It's like touching all of them almost. But yeah, no, I'm very familiar with Crystal Keg. Yeah, I'm trying to think, man. That's pretty much it for me. I've just been doing a lot of reading. Yeah, Parma, York, and Sprague. I got it. I was right. I used to live right there. I lived at Pleasant Lake Apartments back when I was like 18. I just couldn't remember that cross street though. But yeah, no, I'm just getting excited for the draft. My guy Dane Brugler brought out his the Beast, he calls it, which is fucking exciting. The Browns are making moves, but in life here, we took Teddy to see the Easter Bunny the other day.
They look good.
Yeah, she didn't love him this year, was not a fan. And it happens.
She's starting to realize things on the outside a little bit. And now she's starting to put things that's like, nah, maybe I'm not a big fan of that anymore.
Which is funny because when we were in line, she was next. She's like looking and smiling at the bunny and like dancing and all excited. And we're like, oh, this is going to be a cakewalk. And then we hand her over and she's like, nope. I'm like, all right, that'll happen.
Like you failed me, parents.
Yeah, whatever. She's fine. Opening day came and went for baseball. I'm just trying to go over the last few weeks. I really didn't do a whole lot. Like I said, I had a couple birthday parties. I went out for your birthday, had my cousin's birthday party. But being on the cleanse, we didn't really do much. There's not much you can do. I came home, I just cooked. I tried a bunch of different recipes, healthy shit. And that was it. I mean, I didn't do a whole lot. Just been boring. But that's the fun of being an adult. Not a whole lot going on. I have a lot coming up, which is exciting. Like we have the draft next week. Next Wednesday's episode is our mock draft special. Can't wait for that. The Cavs playoffs start this Sunday at 7 p.m. Be there or be square. I'm watching the Cavs take on any number of teams. It could be the Chicago Bulls. It could be the Atlanta Hawks. And it could be
a lot of variables, yeah.
Who is the other team? It's the Bulls are playing the Heat. Yeah, the Heat. So any of those three teams the Cavs could be facing off with. Quinn's in the stage. I'm not a fan of anyone she doesn't know right now. Yeah, that's the tough one. Luckily, Teddy's cool with strangers. It was just the bunny that scared her for some reason. Because, like, small world, when we were at the bar, I ran into a couple coworkers who went up there literally right after work. So I walk in and I'm looking. I'm like, what the fuck? What are you guys doing up here? And they don't live over there by any stretch. So it was shocking. But they know us. So, like, we walked over with Teddy to say goodbye. And she's, like, high-fiving and having fun.
That's awesome.
She was the life of the party. This DJ started playing music like right at 5 o'clock, and it was like old stuff, like from like the 70s and shit. And she's just sitting in her high chair, just dancing, and he's like giving her shout outs and stuff. Like she was loving it. So it was a good time up at Slim and Chubby's.
Chubby's on a Wednesday party, you know? That's nice.
Apparently, dude, it was packed. It was actually really crowded. Like there were people parking in like random spots on the lawn because there was no parking. So they get down with it.
That I'm not aware of, or
no, it's just the guy said. I think he said they come up there twice a month, and he just plays like old music videos. Like they were literally just playing like disco music videos and shit. And then they did trivia, which I'm sitting there, and he's like, "Who wants to do trivia?" He's like, "I'm going to show you some pictures and give you some clues. It's an actor." And he's like, "I'm sitting, of course, right by the stage. I didn't realize they were getting ready to do this." And he's just like, "You right there." I was filling out the tab, like we were literally paying to leave. And he's like, he's like, "Come up here and win some money for your daughter." I'm like, all right. So I go up there and there's just a picture of an actor who, as a child, I'm looking at the picture, hand to God, I'm looking at it. I'm like, kind of looks like Val Kilmer, but he's like, this actor He's like, your first clue, this is an actor. And everyone even made fun of him. They're like, wow, what a great clue. You called him up and said, you have to guess this actor. Your first clue is he is an actor. Like, not a very good clue.
Well, we got the mystery out of the room, so good.
I swear, hand to God, hand to anything. I'm looking at the picture and I'm like, that looks like Val Kilmer. Like, let me know when I have to make my first guess. I'm going to say Val Kilmer. And then he goes, now I'm going to give you your first guess. And if you get it wrong, I'll take $1 away. If you get it right, you obviously win the money. I think it was like $5. And I'm like, all right. And he goes, he was in a movie and he played Iceman. And I go, Val Kilmer. I fucking knew it right off the rip. So I got it right. And he was like, oh, wow. He's like, you got it. Your first try. And I'm like, thank you.
Anybody who doesn't know that Val Kilmer played Iceman needs slapped in the face. I'm sorry.
Right. Like, I looked at it, I'm thinking in my head, like, man, it's kind of soon because he just died like a week ago. But I'm like, that baby picture, or like, not baby, but like first grade maybe. But I'm looking, I'm like, that's definitely Val Kilmer.
Start with like, Doc Holliday, or start with, or maybe he played a Batman, right? That would.
Well, he said if I got it, he said if I didn't get didn't get it right with that, his next clue was going to be he played in Top Gun. Those were his two clues that he was going to go with.
He's sticking with Top Gun. Okay. All right.
That was pretty much it. He was locked in on Tom Cruise movies, and that's all he wanted to go with. So whatever, I got it. Very happy about that. But yeah, no, that's pretty much it. Not a whole lot else going on. We're planning a Disney trip. I think I talked about that last episode. That's been in the works for a couple of weeks now. Just hung out with family and shit. And then went out for your birthday. That was truly like the most exciting thing I did over the last few weeks.
Glad you had fun.
I've been watching a ton of sports. I've been doing a lot of sports betting. I'm on a hot streak with home runs.
I've seen your sports bet. You've been on a roll.
I don't understand how that happened. So I told Kyle the story. I'll tell everybody here. Do not ever in your life use the app or the website BetUS. So the website is betus.com.pa. My buddy and I, a couple of weeks ago, we were looking into doing some prop bets for the draft. Not a lot of websites have good prop bets. We wanted to do specifically, this was the day that Jalen Milroe was invited to the NFL draft, and he accepted his invitation. In my opinion, Jalen Milroe is a day 2 pick, second to third round at best. He accepted an invitation to Green Bay. We both were kind of like, that's strange. I wonder if like there's some rumblings going around that he's going to get drafted a lot higher than we expect.
Well, he's got bigger hands now, so of course he is.
Yeah, he had performance-enhancing drugs, and they made his hand grow an inch. I don't understand how that happened, but he is projected to be like the third or fourth quarterback taken, roughly. But we said, fuck it. Let's find a website that's doing Jalen Milroe as the second quarterback taken. Not second overall, just the second quarterback after Cam Ward. I think it's set in stone. Cam Ward's going number 1. So this website, we found it, betus.com.pa, had Jalen Milroe to be the second overall or second quarterback taken, plus 8,000. So I said, fuck it. I'll throw $25 on that. That'll win me back $2,000, give or take. The problem, when I'm making my account and signing up for the website, my buddy lives in He works in Pennsylvania, lives in Jersey. He's literally on the border. So I figured he's at work. He did it. He found this website, betus.com.pa. I figured the PA stands for Pennsylvania. So I'm like, must be a legit website, whatever. I go to sign up. They have a reward. They do a money match. If your first 3 deposits, they match it 100%. I'm like, oh shit, hell yeah. So I throw in $100. Do the price match. Bonus. I take my 2 bets. I said, fuck it, it's free money. What do I care? Whatever I win, I'll keep. I did a bet on the Dodgers. I did a bet on the Padres. Both lost. $50 bets. Both happened to lose that same night. Whatever. Free bets. What do I care? The next day, I go to cash out. They go, well, you didn't hit your rollover number. I said, what the fuck does that mean? Fine print, ladies and gentlemen. There is fine print that says on these types of websites that do gambling and horse racing and all this weird shit, they want you to hit a rollover number, which is your deposit times 200 and something %. And you have to win and or bet X amount of dollars before you have access to your own money to withdraw. So I accepted that. I accepted this was all before I read anything. I'm admitting my own stupidity here. I got duped. It's my fault, but I'm digging my way out. I accepted their $25 in free casino bets, and I did a bunch of $10 roulette spins, lost all of that, didn't think anything of it. Because again, I was like, man, fuck it, it's free money. Nope, that just added another $300 onto my rollover. So I found out I had my rollover amount is over $3,000 that I have to spend and or win via bets on their website with my own cash. So I have almost $100 in bets pending for the NFL draft that I hope if Jalen Milroe hits, again, that's $2,000. That's great. And then I have another bet that they let me make that was just, will the Tennessee Titans use the number 1 overall pick in the draft? And it was minus like 300. But I was like, fuck it, that's free money. I don't think there's a chance that they're trading. So I threw $50 on that one as well. That'll win me like $20. I made those bets. Those are pending. But other than that, I have been on a fucking roll. I am up well over $200 in my account of my own personal money. And I have dropped my money down that I have to spend, which isn't much. Like it didn't make a huge dent, but it's getting there. I'm down to under $2,800. So I've taken off a few $100s from my tab, and I've profited a couple $100 technically with wins that I can't touch yet. So I have to just keep winning. That's the goal. But yeah, and then on other sites, for some reason, I've just been super lucky with like DraftKings and FanDuel. DraftKings is doing every single day, no sweat home run bets. You're allowed to bet up to $5. If you hit, you win. If you miss, you get a free $5 bet the next day. I've been doing those, and I've been throwing extra cash down on other ones because I've been following these guys that post their home run reports, and I've been fucking hitting a ton of them. I hit Vladimir Guerrero today, hit his first home run of the season. I've gotten a couple over the weekend. I got a couple from the Tigers. I think I did Kerry Carpenter. Yesterday I hit Storm from the A's. I had him to hit a home run. He ended up hitting 2, but I only picked him for 1. That was on the Bet USA app, but I've just been crushing it with the home run picks. I don't know why I've gotten so lucky, but I'm not mad about it. So we'll see how that goes. Honest to God, I forgot that I picked Vlad Guerrero today. I was sitting at work, and I just happened to check the baseball scores because I was like, oh, yeah, they had some 1 o'clock games, and I see the Toronto Blue Jays were winning 2-0, and I'm like, oh, I wonder how they scored. And I saw Vlad Guerrero home run. I'm like, fuck, of all the days, I've been picking him a lot. And because I'm like, he's due for his first career home run. And I'm like, shit, I didn't fucking take him. And then I clicked my app, and I'm like, oh, I did fucking take him. Hell yeah. So that was a nice little win. So yeah, it's kind of nice. It's very fun. I've been having a good time. And as long as you win.
Listen to those who just read the fine print before you do anything, so you know.
100%. Just pretty much all I can say and recommend. Just stick with normal betting American sites. Don't go to these offshore things, because let me tell you, the PA in that website is not Pennsylvania. I don't know what it stands for, but they fucking dupe you. It has nothing to do with Pennsylvania. I believe they're an offshore thing, and I do not recommend using BetUS. Let me just say that.
Too good to be true. It's more than likely too good to be true.
But other websites like FanDuel, when they give you your profit boost or whatever when you first sign up, that was all legit. Whatever you win, you can cash out. They don't give a fuck. Like I had Tara making accounts and all those sites when they first started in Ohio, because I'm like, they're doing easy bets. Like I remember the one was like, will Joe Burrow throw more than 1 yard plus 100? So I'm like, throw down $50 on that. That was the max. I'm like, he's going to throw for more than 100 yards. You're going to win $50. Then we cash it out. And those are all legit. You were able to do all that shit. So just don't go offshore. That's the number one thing I can recommend.
Stay onshore and offshore. I like it.
But that's it for me. I hadn't done a whole lot. I know you had your 58th birthday, and
it keeps going up, man. My God.
Hey, forward can't be stopped, Kyle. I'm sorry, but Father Time is undefeated.
42 is the number.
42.
Yeah. So I've been kind of not traveling the last 2 weeks. This is my first week back to traveling. Kind of took 2 weeks off to kind of stay home. It was nice to not have to be on the road and just be home with Jess and the dogs and everybody and get stuff done around the house. But no, I mean, I celebrated my 42nd birthday last Thursday to be exact. We had a little get together at my hometown bar, Game Day, which everyone I finally got to introduce it to. And I from what I heard from most people who came, at least, they enjoyed themselves, had a good time. I guess the bartenders took care of people, everything, no issues whatsoever. So I'm glad people were ready to come out. Small parking lot, but I'm glad, again, people were able to enjoy themselves at least. No, and then the other highlight of my 2 weeks is I've been on a tear in bowling. Like we're coming to the end of bowling for my Tuesday night league, which we're in a championship next week. Switched balls, buddy Jose. 3 weeks ago, man, we're in bowling, and my arm. I've been throwing a 16-pound ball, and I know you probably don't bowl often, but throwing a 16-pound ball
I used to
over and over again, like your arm gets tired, right? So we're sitting there, and it's during practice. I just picked up his one ball he doesn't throw off, and I'm like, how much does this weigh? He's like 14. I'm like, I'm just gonna throw it just to see, like, how I like it. And sure as shit, like it fit perfect. Like I was able to throw it how I normally want to throw a ball, breaks perfectly. Last week was my first ever 700 series. There was 708, I think, and then last night threw a 734. So I had a 278 high game last night. But it was enough to carry us, and we got, not carry us, but enough to move us on to the championship, which is next Tuesday. So it's been a fun 2 weeks, very relaxing, very chill. But yeah, no, last Saturday was fun. I don't remember the last half hour of the night. I guess we got home around 12:30. I remember sending a text.
It's fair.
Around like 11:45 to somebody that said like happy birthday. They couldn't make it. I remember like writing back like, thanks, wish you were here. And then I don't remember anything past that point, really. Now that I'm thinking about it, but I did see me stumbling into our front door, which was fun. I guess I threw up in our bathroom. I guess I almost hit our cat. That's fun too. But whatever, it is what it is. It's your birthday. You go out and have fun. But again, the next day, I thanked everybody who came. And I don't know. You tell me. I mean,
probably didn't move from the couch.
Did you enjoy the bar? Like I said, it's a very small bar, but I mean,
no, absolutely. That was my kind of bar. Like I was looking around and I was telling Tara, I'm like, man, I really wish we weren't on this cleanse, because they had a Chicago dog on the menu, and I'm a sucker for Chicago dogs. I love Chicago dogs.
Had the Chicago dog.
He said the hot dog was really good.
Yeah, he said he ordered it. Their food there is amazing. They take care of people. The bartender, May, who was working, she's our favorite bartender. The owners were there taking care. Like they went out of their way to make sure that everyone was handled correctly. Because
I had a great time. I never really had to wait for a drink. The service was great. Yeah. It's small. Everybody seemed to know each other. Like there were a lot of people that I've never met. But I could tell you guys probably know from going up there a lot. Yeah. But everybody was really cool and accommodating and friendly, and you had a great turnout for your party. A lot of friends and familiar faces. They have a decent sized front patio area, if you will, for I'm sure when the weather's nicer, that fills up. TVs. They had the Guardians game going. It was a really good time. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's why we like going up there. It's just friendly. It's low key, nothing crazy. Good food. I mean, they make their pizzas. I'm sure you probably see her make a pizza or two, but they take frozen pizzas, but then they pile on top of it to add everything to it. So extra cheese, extra meats, everything you can, and it comes out just amazing, And the hot dogs are what they're known for there. So yeah, I'm just glad everyone had a good time. But Sunday was a
I think I read they have a chicken bacon ranch quesadilla. I'm a huge quesadilla guy, so I saw that.
They do. It's really good. I usually get their pizza quesadilla, which is just a quesadilla with pepperoni, mozzarella, and I had them have sausage into it as well. Oh, it comes out. It's so big and thick. It's so good. Yeah,
thick sausage for Kyle.
Yeah, thick sausage. But no, that's pretty much it. Low key 2 weeks, good bowling, birthday, and yeah, now we're here. We're back to reality, back to on the road working again. So
yeah,
that's it.
Well, Kyle may have turned 42, but the Browns said, we'll do you one better, and we're going to sign a quarterback who is older than Kyle. And the Browns have brought back a familiar face, and that is one Joseph Flacco. Joe Flacco is officially back with the Cleveland Browns. I'm not going to lie, this is a move I did not see coming.
I mean, it solidified what we think we're doing in our draft now, but I mean, I didn't.
It really did. Because I was in a point where the last couple of weeks, truthfully, I've been texting people, and I'm like, I have no fucking idea what we're going to do, because our quarterback options are limited. As you guys know, we have Kenny Pickett. That was it. They traded for Kenny Pickett. That's the only quarterback on the roster. Familiar faces here. DTR obviously was part of the trade of Kenny Pickett, so he's gone. Deshaun Watson, not going to be healthy to play, so he's not an option. Jameis Winston signs with the New York Giants. Who the fuck is going to be playing for the Cleveland Browns next year? I don't understand what's happening. So that made me think they're either getting Kirk Cousins or they have to be drafting Shedeur Sanders. How can you justify to your fan base you don't have a legitimate starting quarterback, because you can't tell me it's going to be Kenny Pickett? I won't stand for that. There's no way you can tell me with a straight face that our savior for next season is Kenny Pickett.
Still possible he's a starter week 1 though, but
Well, I had an epiphany today about this whole situation, and I'll get to that once we wrap up here talking about it all. But yeah, so last Friday, surprising news. I'm at work. Kyle's at work. Kyle texts me and just says, "Welcome back, Flacco." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" Sure enough, real. I didn't see it coming. I mean, for me, nothing against Joe Flacco. I don't want to sound like a hater, but like I'm just realistic. When Joe Flacco was here, he beat up on a lot of really bad teams, made a ton of mistakes. And then when it mattered most against the Houston Texans, he pissed down his leg through multiple pick sixes, cost us the game basically by being a turnover machine. They let him walk. He goes to Indianapolis. And of course, Browns fans are still clamoring that they need to get Joe Flacco back, blah, blah, blah. He finally gets an opportunity to start over Anthony Richardson, and he's not very good. And I just went, okay, he's just old. Like that happens. Nothing against the guy, but he's old. So they bring him back another year later. So we are over almost a year and a half removed from the Houston Texans debacle. And the Browns are like, bring it back. I think he could have improved in that time frame. Makes no sense to me, truthfully. This is a move to sell tickets and to get the fans happy, because there are stupid fans out there that think this is some sort of good move.
Super Bowl,
immediately,
Super Browns.
As soon as this news came out, all I saw on Twitter was people going, "Now that you got Flacco, it's time to sign Nick Chubb." They just want to bring back the whole old band. Don't get me wrong, the Flacco time was fun. I was at that Jets game. When we clinched and we solidified a playoff spot, I was ecstatic. You would have thought we won the Super Bowl. I'm hugging everybody. They're shooting off fucking fireworks. It was such a great time. Flacco round and find out. Flacco Fever. There's songs being made. He was a hero. But then the games had to be played. And he shit down his leg against the Houston Texans. And that's unfortunately how I'll remember his tenure in Cleveland. Now he's potentially going to be our starting quarterback again. A 40-something-year-old quarterback, late 30s, however technically old he is, who nobody really else wanted. The New York Giants were the only other team to show even the slightest bit of interest in him in the offseason, but then they ended up going with Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson. So we got the bottom of the barrel scrap heap, Joe Flacco. And Browns fans are excited about that. I don't understand it. I don't get Browns fans and how stupid they can be at sometimes. But the epiphany that I had. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I personally, it is what it is, right? We knew we were either going to get a aged Kirk Cousins, a aged Joe Flacco, potentially, very small chance. Like he was the lowest of all chances I think we gave anybody.
I truly didn't even cross my mind that this would actually happen.
Yeah, but then, or we're getting a rookie Shadur Sanders. Like that's the three choices we basically kind of pigeonholed ourselves into. And there were some people still talking about Aaron Rodgers because I fucking knows what's going on with that guy, right? But at this point, I'm okay with Flacco for right now because he is what he is, right? He's a bridge quarterback to whoever we end up drafting either later in the draft this year or next year, right? He's going to move the offense. He can move the offense, right? It might be not the right way off the time, but it's going to move the offense somewhere, right? And it's what it is. He knows this offense. He knows the coordinators. He knows the playbook. So, okay, cool. We got that out of the way. It does kind of solidify our thought process on what they're doing at number 2. I'm still back and forth between Carter and Hunter. But we kind of know what they're doing. The Browns aren't going to trade out of 2 now. I think they're going to stay at 2 and take who they want to there. So, okay, I'm okay with it for now, but man, they better have a hell of a draft. That's all I got to say. I want to see some things, pieces filled in for the draft, maybe some trades. I don't know what they're going to do. They need to have a solid draft for me to have the anxiety I kind of have to not be there right now. So,
well, the thing for me before I get to my epiphany,
yeah,
I think Browns fans need to realize this is a whole new team. He's coming in with his number one target was Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper's gone.
Yeah.
He is now going to be throwing to Jerry Jeudy, who's a brand new wide receiver he's never played with. Excuse me. Nick Chubb wasn't here when he was here. He had Jerome Ford. Jerome Ford's likely going to be our backup. I assume they're going to be drafting a rookie running back to be the number 1 because we don't have a true number 1 running back. So that's going to be a little bit different. The offensive line is the same. David Njoku's still there for sure. But wide receiver-wise, going to be totally different, especially if they draft Travis Hunter. Whole new team. Offense-wise, when he was here, we had Alex Van Pelt as the offensive coordinator. Alex Van Pelt was fired.
He knows the head coach. My bad about the
Right.
quarterback.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I'm just like other fans that are still like saying that. Like, I know it's Kevin Stefanski's offense at the end of the day. Trust me, I get that. But then we traded or fired Ken Dorsey, and now we have Tommy Reese as the offensive coordinator. So we've gone through, this is now the 3rd offensive coordinator in 3 years. and Joe Flacco's coming back with it. But again, I think it will be similar. But the epiphany that I had is that after Jimmy Haslam came out a couple of weeks ago, which I believe this happened between shows, we didn't get a chance to talk about it between the last time we recorded. Jimmy Haslam came out and basically shit on Deshaun Watson in the most respectful way possible and was just saying what everybody knows. He just said, hey, we went for it. We swung for the fences and we failed, but we tried to get you guys a Super Bowl and get you guys a legitimate starting quarterback. And I respect the fuck out of him for coming out and saying that. But with that being said, I look at it as he's just admitting to the public that Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry have another grace year. That's how I took it, truthfully. We're going into this year, and I hate to admit it because we're wasting years of guys like Myles Garrett, David Njoku, etc. I think we're in a rebuild year. We have a grace period. I think what we're going to do, and this is gun to my head, we'll do our mock draft next week. But gun to my head, I think we're going to go for Travis Hunter at number 2, and we are going to go with whoever is available at 33 at quarterback, whether that's Jalen Milroe, Jackson Dart, hell, Shedeur Sanders, because there's a lot of rumors of him sliding. Yeah. I think they're going for a day 2 quarterback to sit behind Flacco, to sit behind Pickett, and to potentially get the keys to the car next year. Because think about it, Lamar Jackson, I believe, was the 32nd pick of the draft. The Ravens traded back into the first to get him at 32. He's turned into an MVP. I'm not comparing any of these quarterbacks to Lamar Jackson. Let me preface with that. But the Browns' mindset might be, if I can get a quarterback, maybe they trade into the late first. It won't cost you much. There's a lot of people out there speculating that the Browns trade back into the first, and they're like, oh, they're going to give up their 2026 first-round pick. It will not cost you that. Your second-round pick is number 33. That's huge value. You could probably give 33 and a fourth-round pick and move into the 20s easily. A team would do that. So for any fans out there that think to get back in the first round, you have to give up a king's ransom, not the case. But maybe they trade up and take one of those quarterbacks, one of those 3, and they think that they have a future with them. I don't know, to be determined. But that's just kind of my mindset now, is that the Browns are admitting they're going into a rebuild and they are having a grace period for the front office, because how else can you justify the quarterback room right now? You're going in with Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett. The only team, truthfully, the only team in the NFL with a worse quarterback room are the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm giving the Tennessee Titans the benefit of the doubt that they're taking Cam Ward. So right now they obviously have a horrible quarterback situation, but I assume they're taking Cam Ward. The Steelers have Mason Rudolph. That's it. And to your point, though, about Aaron Rodgers and who knows what he's doing, the rumor that I heard is that they have a little bit of a backdoor agreement with Rodgers, and they said, we're going to announce your signing after the draft. So he's a Pittsburgh Steeler. They're waiting to announce it after the draft to keep teams kind of in the dark and make teams go, well, shit, what if they take a quarterback? Should we trade ahead of them? Should we do this? Should we do that? So they're doing it to kind of fuck with the draft, but they're going to sign Aaron Rodgers as soon as the draft is over. It'll be official. I
thought he was trying to get himself into Minnesota. I thought that was the whole rumor.
No, Minnesota came out a while ago and basically said, like, we're not interested. Thank you, but no thank you. We're good. So I think that's dead in the water. From, like I said, for what it's worth, I forgot who I heard it from, but I either saw it on Twitter or I heard it on the radio from somebody that said that basically it's all but done, that he's a Pittsburgh Steeler. It's just a matter of when they announce it. So, but as of right now, again, they don't have anything else other than Mason Rudolph. So they have a shitty quarterback situation. The latest mock drafts are showing Shedeur Sanders sliding to 21 to be there for Pittsburgh. But we'll see. And to Kyle's point, Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter, the only thing for me is the Browns are in a good situation to take best player available. Most general consensus say that Travis Hunter is the best player available in this draft, bar none. He's better than Cam Ward. He's better than Abdul Carter. He's, according to Dane Brugler, who's a guy that I respect the fuck out of, who does more in-depth college research than any person I've ever met. I love his beast he puts out every year. If you have a chance to get, if you want to do a free subscription for The Athletic, or if you just want to pay for The Athletic, it's pretty cheap. Dane Brugler's beast he put out last week is fantastic. He has information on just about every player that's projected to get drafted. So when you're on like day 2, day 3, and there's guys getting picked that you've never heard of, if you have Dane Brugler's beast, you'll learn about all these players. And he has pros, cons, weaknesses, comparisons, all of their numbers from the combine, their numbers from their pro day, full biographies. He fucking puts in the work. He is great. Dane Brugler has Travis Hunter as his number one player overall by far. He also has him as his number one wide receiver and his number one corner. So he's the number one player at two different positions, number one player overall, and the Browns could sit there easily and take him right at number two. And I would not bat an eye. When you're a bad team, you can't have too much talent.
Take him. He's going to get a lot of balls thrown to him by Flacco, and that's on both sides of the line. So
that's the first thing I said to everybody. I said, you know what? Who better to take than a guy who loves throwing to the other team and who loves throwing to cornerbacks than a guy who's a wide receiver and a cornerback? So Travis Hunter is the perfect pick for Joe Flacco.
I did see him come out and say he won't play football for a team that won't allow him to play both ways. So I'm curious how the Browns
that quote came out, but I did hear a guy, I think it was Tony Grossi. Tony Grossi came out today and they asked him about that. They said, what do you think about him saying that? And he goes, can you show me the actual clip? And people were like, well, no. And he's like, a couple of weeks ago at the combine, he was super humble, said he'll play whatever position any team wants. Now all of a sudden people are saying he's going to refuse to play. He's like, I think this is someone's agent trying to say this to make him fall.
Where do you see him playing? Offense or defense?
I think offense. I think he's a very good wide receiver, and with NFL coaching staffs, he can become a great wide receiver. His size is good. I forgot. I was talking to somebody today, and they were trying to shit on him, and they're like, "Oh, we're not taking an undersized wide receiver, number 2 overall." And I was like, "Look at his numbers. He's about 10 pounds lighter than Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. Otherwise, they're the same size." And when you're in the NFL, you're going to get strength and conditioning coaches that you didn't have at Colorado, and you're going to be able to put on some good muscle and some weight. So I'm like, I'm not concerned about the size.
If they would use him just occasionally on defense, because rotation purposes, depth purposes, maybe later in the game, just to maybe give someone a break for a player or two, throw him in there. I mean, he's probably going to learn both sides of the ball, I would assume, if we do draft him.
The only thing for me, and I don't know how, I'm just a fan. I don't know the ins and outs of daily practices and stuff like that, but I feel like you have your position rooms. So you have wide receivers who they dedicate their entire time in that building for film, for who might be covering them for the week, game plans, etc. I feel like it's way too hard to expect a kid to somebody to learn both in a week when you're game planning against teams. I do think situationally they'll throw him in there. I was telling my buddy this, who's convinced he's going to be playing both sides of the ball almost full time. And I said, there's no fucking way that an NFL team is going to use the number 2 pick on a draft for a guy who they're going to run into the ground and make him exhausted. I think he'll be a wide receiver for the Browns if they draft him, and I think he will play a handful of defensive snaps, but it will be like Hail Mary situations. It's not going to be anything because it looks on paper, or if you're just watching a game, it looks like it's easy to play corner. Like, yeah, you just go out there and cover your guy. It's easy. But no, there are full-on assignments and different things. Maybe we're switching to a zone. We want to fake a look here. You have to know that like the back of your hand, or else you're going to fuck the whole team up. You don't want to throw Travis Hunter out there and then he fucks up the play because he doesn't know it and gets smoked for a touchdown. Or, vice versa. On offense, you throw him out there and you go, well, he spent a lot of time with the corners this week. He didn't spend a lot of time with the wide receivers and he runs the wrong route. Like, you can't afford that in the NFL. In college, it's whatever. He can get open. He can do whatever he wants. They're playing against a bunch of fucking bums. I think he's going to I'd say 90% wide receiver.
Yeah. I'd be curious. I think with him as a wide receiver, it does make it interesting in offense, especially with a quarterback who likes to just fucking throw it wherever. And him being a receiver that can pretty much come down with the ball wherever he gets a chance within his range. And Judy's that kind of that receiver too. So this might work in the favor of Flacco. I don't know. We'll see.
Absolutely. For me, it's just what version of Flacco are we getting? Like, Joe Flacco's a fun guy to watch. He's not afraid to throw the ball wherever, but he wasn't that good. Browns fans live with this weird memory of it was so great, but we played a lot of bad teams. He struggled against the shitty Chicago Bears. We barely beat the Bears. He beat up on the Texans when the Texans had a lot of guys out in the regular season. He beat up the Jets, who are one of the worst teams in football. Against the Rams, who were a playoff team that year, he struggled, albeit it was his first game. It was on short notice. But we really only beat up on bad teams. And then we go to the playoffs where it really matters, and he shit down his leg. It was such a bad game, back-to-back pick sixes. He cost your team the playoffs, and Browns fans are just like, it's okay. He was nice. It's Joe Flacco. I understand how you guys forgive him for that.
I was at I think it was a bridal shower, or a bridal party with Jess's friend's daughter or whatever. And I was watching with the other husbands in the living room, just getting pissed off, just like throwing shit at the TV, like how bad that game was. It's so annoying.
I was furious. I was in my basement. I was so fucking mad.
So bad.
But to your point earlier, you had mentioned possibly drafting Abdul Carter, and I think the Okwara sign right there from the Cardinals will put an end to that. The Browns have signed multiple defensive ends. To me, that says they're not drafting a defensive end. What position have they not gone after in the free agency? Wide receiver. And we currently have a terrible wide receiver room. We have Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, Jamari Thrash. That's about it. They could always bring back Elijah Moore. He's still available. He was a favorite target of Joe Flacco. But if you take Travis Hunter, there's your number one wide receiver right there, maybe number two, depending on where you want to put him between him and Jeudy. But that's it. I mean, we have nothing at wide receiver. To me, the proof is in the pudding. The writing is on the wall. Whatever you want to use there it's Travis Hunter is the pick. Gun to my head. Spoiler alert for my mock draft. I think the Browns are taking Travis Hunter. I have been saying that now for over a week, and I am sticking to it. Again, we're a bad team. We're not a good team. We're drafting number two for a reason.
Sanders at number 2, baby. Let's go.
I just don't see it. I mean, Shedeur Sanders, even Vegas has Shedeur Sanders. His over-under for his draft position is 8.5.
Wow,
so
they haven't fallen that far. Oh, that's crazy.
And it's plus money to be a top 9 pick. So Vegas really thinks he's dropping out of the top 10.
Where are the Giants picking?
Third.
They brought him out for a visit, I think, today or tomorrow.
They brought out every quarterback over the last few days because they're trying to convince teams they're going to take one. They're trying to get somebody to trade with them, but teams aren't falling for it. Everyone knows, dude, you just signed Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. You're not drafting another quarterback. They worked out Shedeur Sanders, they worked out Jalen Milroe, and they worked out Jackson Dart all over the last 3 days. It's not fooling anybody.
What quarterback? Just if you had to guess, do you see the Browns drafting a quarterback in this draft?
Yeah, number 33. I think whoever's there at 33, they're taking. I don't think there's going to be a huge run on quarterbacks in this class because there are teams that don't really need them. The only teams to really look out for, teams with older quarterbacks that could be looking for a future guy. So the Rams are a team that kind of scares me to potentially take a quarterback late. And the Steelers. I don't think the Steelers are using a first-round pick on a quarterback because they need one. But again, I think they're going to come away with Aaron Rodgers. And don't forget, they did trade away their second-round pick for DK Metcalf. So they don't have a second-round pick. So I don't think they're going to use their first-round pick on a guy who's going to sit behind Aaron Rodgers for a year. They have to use it on somebody that's going to play today. So I think the Steelers you can cross off as a team taking a quarterback. But a team like the Rams, they need somebody for Matthew Stafford's predecessor. So I think that's a team to look out for. Other than that, no one really comes to mind as who could take a quarterback. So
who would you want on the Browns team? At 33, outside of obviously Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, they're gone. Who would you want to put money on?
For me, it's a coin flip between Dart and between Milroe. Those are your next two available quarterbacks that could be justifiably taken there. Milroe showed signs at Alabama. Milroe showed signs that he could be a good quarterback, but he extremely regressed last year. Again, he came in with small hands. He was a turnover machine. He fumbles the ball like crazy. His pocket presence is very bad. These are things you could coach, but he's a huge project. So that's scary to me. Jackson Dart, same thing. Jackson Dart's very inexperienced. Jackson Dart comes from a very, very quarterback-friendly spread college offense that in the NFL, it is not even comparable. His offense was wide open guys. First read, just boom, I'm chucking the ball. The NFL, it's so different. You have to hit tight windows. You have to go through your progressions. That's things that you have to coach. So neither of these two are even fucking close to being ready to play in the NFL, in my opinion. But I think those are going to be your two options there at 33. Assuming Shedeur doesn't slide too far. If Shedeur goes into the 20s, if I'm the Cleveland Browns, I would trade up for Shedeur Sanders. He's a guy who, a couple of weeks ago, there were people saying Browns are taking Shedeur number 2 overall. If you can get him in the 20s, I can live with that. If you get Hunter and Shedeur Sanders in Cleveland, that's a good draft. I'm actually happy with that. Because, again, I don't think it'll cost you much more than the 33rd overall pick and maybe a 4th round pick. It shouldn't cost you too much. So
I would think he slides out of the 1, but I mean that'd be interesting if he fell.
In like late 20s. If he gets past Pittsburgh and he's at like 22, I think you could trade up to 22 to get him. And again, it's only going to cost you a couple of picks.
It'd be like watching the quarterback fall on draft day, where he just falls and falls and falls and falls and falls.
Well, that's the weird thing is I think there are 18 people confirmed to go to the draft. Cam Ward's one of them. Travis Hunter's one of them. Jackson Dart and Jalen Milroe got invitations and accepted. Shedeur Sanders is not going to be at the draft. They're hosting their own. No, they're hosting their own party in Dallas with Dion. So he's not going, which makes a lot of people think that his agent was told basically like, yeah, dude, you're probably not going till late first round at all. So if you don't want to be kind of embarrassed and shown every 2 seconds sitting in the green room, don't come. That's a lot of people's rumors or speculation, I should say.
Interesting.
So we'll see what happens. We're a week away, a little over a week and a day. And we will, again, next week is going to be our fun episode of, we're going to do a little, basically next week's episode, I'll tell you right now, is going to be, we'll do a quick update on the playoffs for the NBA because the playoffs will be underway. And we are going to do our mock draft. And that'll be all of next week. That's it for the whole episode. But it'll be fun. So,
this is our like 7th year of doing the mock draft?
Something like that. It's been a long time. Yeah. I don't even know. Ever since we started. I mean, I've been doing mock drafts forever, but doing it as like a tradition for the show, it's been, when did we start?
Maybe 5 or 6.
We started the show in 2018.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So this will be our 7th mock draft, I think. 6th or 7th.
It's crazy, man. Time
flies. It really is. Now, one quarterback that a lot of Browns fans thought the Browns might have a little bit of interest in, who they did not end up getting, is one Joe Milton. Joe Milton was traded to the Dallas Cowboys for nothing, a 5th-round pick, I think it was. A lot of Browns fans immediately came out and they're like, I would have done that. I would have done that in a heartbeat, but we want a veteran. We don't want to take a chance on this guy because if you're trading for Joe Milton, you're hoping he could one day possibly be a franchise quarterback. I say that loosely. I'm not.
Vrabel shows up to New England, says you're too dark for me. I'm trading you away.
Yeah, he's like, I need to lighten up my QB room a little bit. We have Drake May in one corner. You're out of here. Trades Joe Milton to the Dallas Cowboys because Dak Prescott cannot stay healthy. Dallas does not have a backup quarterback, or did not at the time. They let Cooper Rush sign with the Ravens, and Trey Lance signed with the Chargers, if I'm not mistaken. So they didn't have a backup quarterback. Dak Prescott has proven that he cannot stay healthy. Joe Milton played one game last year against the Buffalo Bills third stringers. Looked good. Made a lot of teams think, I should go after this guy. And I had a lot of people text me, and my brother-in-law specifically, my brother-in-law Con, shout out to Con. As soon as the Joe Milton rumor started weeks and weeks ago, that he was potentially available, he's like, what would you trade? What about a 3rd-round pick, this and that? I'm like, no fucking way. I would maybe trade a 5th or 6th-round pick. And everyone's like, no, I heard they want a 3rd. You got to give up a 3rd-round pick. I'm like, no chance. Don't do it for this guy. This screams Matt Flynn. If you remember Matt Flynn from years and years ago,
Green Bay.
Came in and he had one good game. Last game of the season, Green Bay had already clinched the 1 seed. Everyone was benched. Matt Flynn played a great game. Seattle then gives him a huge contract in the offseason. He then got beat in training camp by Russell Wilson and was never a Seahawks quarterback, but they signed him for a ton of money because he had one good game. And then he bounced around the NFL and was shit everywhere he went. I'm not saying that's going to be the case for Joe Milton, but Joe Milton played one game. Joe Milton was, I think, a 6th-round pick last year for a reason, and then got traded for a 5th. So if you think he's going to come in and save your franchise, you got a little bit of football learning to do.
The GOAT was a 6th-round pick. We can't talk about 6th-round picks like that.
1 in a billion chance. The flukiest fucking thing. If Drew Bledsoe never got hurt, you'd never would have heard of Tom Brady. So
I was just watching that roast again the other day. Dude, how many fucking comics killed it that night? Hitchcliff, by all means.
It was good.
Did you watch Hitchcliff's thing on Netflix? The Kill Tony thing that came out on Netflix?
No, not yet. I kind of heard it sucked, if I'm being honest.
I like his humor. It's hilarious. I've been madly obsessed with Bad Friends though. I've been going back and listening to all the old ones and kind of like catching up and kind of how you did. I just can't get enough of those two. Those two are fucking.
Yeah, they're fantastic together. Honestly, like I'm mad at myself that I'm all the way caught up because now I don't have anything to listen to. I have to listen to the new episode only. I've listened to every other one.
Did you see that? Did you see that he went on the Live tour and was doing like comedic like questions from the?
Yeah, he was roasting the guy where he was like, "Can you put the mic by the stool? How you doing, stool?" or whatever.
Oh yeah, Pat Perez. Pat Perez is a YouTube golfer. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah, if you get the chance to check it out, if you're ever out of podcasts, I highly recommend. This is important from the guys from Workaholics.
This is important. Making
yeah.
Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts because I'm traveling, so I just throw it on because I can listen to all these podcasts through Spotify. So I just throw it on there and listen to them as I'm driving. And they got the
Did you watch Workaholics by chance?
What's that?
Did you watch the show Workaholics by chance?
I've watched a couple episodes. I never really watched it too much, though. No.
So if you're into Workaholics, I would highly recommend checking that out. Those guys, I think they're funny as fuck. So it's Anders Holm, an actor. You probably would recognize him from a bunch of movies. Adam Devine, who you'd recognize from, Modern Family, a bunch of stuff he's been in. And then Blake Anderson, he's only been in a handful of things. His big claim to fame is Workaholics. But then they had their friend on the show, Carl, who in real life, his name's Kyle Newacek. He's a director. He directed most of the episodes of What We Do in the Shadows. He's actually the director of the new Happy Gilmore 2 coming out. He's really making a name for himself in Hollywood, but they're all best friends. When they all moved to LA together, they all met each other at school or whatever and became best friends. And the four of them do the podcast. Kyle has left the podcast. He hasn't been on it for like a year. I also just realized that our names are flipped on the screen for this one, but whatever. I just happened to look up and see.
On top, it's bad. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Whatever. I'm not worried about it. But yeah, so they do a podcast. I personally, I love their humor. It's funny as fuck. I think it's truly the funniest podcast. The dude Blake, he runs the soundboard, and they have the funniest sound bites. And it's my favorite podcast. To me, it's This Is Important, Bad Friends, but This Is Important takes the cake as the funniest podcast for me.
I'll have to listen to it. Have they been out for a couple of years though?
Yeah, I think they started during COVID. So yeah, they're like hundreds of episodes in. But like I was listening to it comes out every Tuesday. I was listening to this week's episode. Like I was finishing it up yesterday while I was taking a shower, and like it literally makes me laugh out loud. I fucking love their humor. It makes me laugh so hard. So definitely check out This Is Important.
I see it right now. Yeah. Okay.
But the cool thing is they talk about real life. They don't do like don't get me wrong. Bad Friends is fantastic in its own right, but you can tell that on Bad Friends they're acting. Like Santino and Bobby Lee are both like trying to like one up each other and like they're, you know what I mean? They're being goofy. This Is Important one, though, that's literally just 4 or 3, depending on the episode, best friends that are together having a fucking blast. And they even went on tour with it. It came to Cleveland. I'm still mad at myself for not buying tickets, but they did a live podcast in like cities all over the world, the country. But when they're together, it's literally just friends talking shit and making fun of each other and then talking about Hollywood and like actual work that they're doing in their families. And it's so fucking funny. And I think all 3 of them are just witty as fuck. And I love it. It makes me laugh so hard.
All right,
so check it out.
Put it on my list as I'm driving. I like it.
Yeah, it is one of my favorites. Next up, we're going to talk a little bit about the college championships. The UConn ladies, Gino, what the fuck's his last name? I can't remember. I'm having a brain fart right now. The head coach of the UConn Huskies, I can't remember his name, but they won another one. Go figure. UConn won the national championship
Is it Ari Mella or Emma or Ari Emma? I don't know. So it's an
A or something like that. I can't remember.
Ari Emma or whatever. Yeah.
Ari Emma. That sounds right. Either way, UConn wins the women's championship. I didn't know Georgia was going to put that up there, so I didn't do any research to look that up. That was kind of shocking to me. But Florida did win the national championship. In my opinion, I know we're 2 weeks later on this, but one of the more controversial situations happened. That foul call on Cooper Flagg in the Final Four against Houston was one of the worst calls I have ever seen in sports history, and I have no dog in the fight.
Someone got paid.
I had Auburn winning the championship, so it's not like I was clamoring for Duke to win.
I did have Houston in the finals. I did have Houston in one of my brackets in the finals, but that was just a bullshit pick. Like I'm just whatever throwing shit at the wall, see what sticks. But that someone got paid on that call.
That was literally like the worst. I thought we should have had a Florida Duke national championship, and Duke got fucking hosed. That was the worst call against the best player in college of all people. with less than 10 seconds to go or whatever. That was truly the worst call I've ever seen in sports. And again, I had no dog in the fight. I had no rooting interest in that game. I didn't even have any bets on it. I was just watching the game for fun. And I saw that call and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? This ref literally just cost Duke a championship. And there were people out there that were like, well, Duke had a 10-point lead, so it's their own fault they lost that game. And it's like, that's irrelevant. If they blew a lead, who gives a shit? If they naturally lost that game, that's fine. That ref cost them that game, regardless of anything else. Yes, they blew a lead, but they still had a chance to win the game at the end if the refs let them play. Instead, bullshit, over the back call, holding call, whatever you want to define it as, but one of the worst fucking calls I've ever seen in sports, truthfully. And I was just blown away by that.
Insane.
But the national championship game was a good game. I picked Florida betting wise. There was a little boost from FanDuel, so I was like, fuck it, 50-50 shot. The game was pretty much a -1 pick 'em, and I took Florida, just whatever. And Florida ended up making a 10+ point comeback in the second half, winning the game by I think 1. And it was a really good national championship, truthfully. A good game, fun game. Starts way too late, though. Shame on college basketball for doing that. But
I'll be honest, I forgot that the women's basketball one was on Sunday. I was cleaning our living room. I was carpet cleaning, vacuuming, and get everything cleaned up. So we had somebody come over on Monday to replace a meter in our house, water meter.
Oh, nice.
Sorry, side story, but everyone was forced to change their water meters in Ridgeville to these different meters. So I was like, fuck it, this is a good excuse to deep clean the house before anybody comes over, right? But I turn on, I'm like, women's national championship was 5:00 in the afternoon. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'll watch this. And then I put that on, and then of course the next day it's the men's one late at night. It's insane, yeah.
Yeah, didn't quite get the same buzz that the men's get, but whatever.
Not at all. I mean, and it was cool. I mean, did you watch the women's NBA WNBA draft the other day?
No, I didn't. We were busy on Monday, but I kept up with it. I saw Paige Beckers, or however you say her name, was the number 1 pick as expected. It was interesting. I mean, truthfully, I will get excited for WNBA. Last year was exciting. Caitlin Clark was a generational talent to get drafted.
All off season, man. I'm wondering how good she's going to be this year. I mean, how much?
Is just keep getting into shape, and then when the Cleveland Rockers become a WNBA team after their first inaugural year, Caitlin Clark then becomes a free agent, and Dan Gilbert's going to do everything in his power to sign her to Cleveland, and it's going to be awesome. And I will be taking Teddy. I might get season tickets to the Cleveland Rockers once Caitlin Clark is here. I am just speaking that into existence right now.
I want Caitlin Clark. What, the Rockers are 2028? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so.
But is that official? I'm sure that they wasn't official yet, though.
No, I thought I saw it was. I could have swore, but I don't know. Maybe
jumped the gun on it that it was. It's that they think it's happening, but anything wasn't official or wasn't voted on yet or anything. I'm not sure.
Oh, I could just switch it that way. No shit. Okay. I switched our names. I got it right. You can literally just click it and drag it. Didn't know that. George isn't here, everybody, so I'm running the show. So if you're wondering why things are, I think I've done a pretty good job so far. But
yeah, here's this article from February 26th. It just says Cleveland likely to get next WNBA franchise. But nothing.
I thought it was legit. I thought there was already the trademarks and everything was signed off. I thought there was an announcement, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Either way, there's pretty good speculation that Cleveland's getting a WNBA team again. The Cleveland Rockers will be back in Cleveland, and again, I would love Caitlin Clark to be here. That would be amazing. But if she doesn't, Indiana Fever will play here probably a couple times in a season, so I would love to go down there and watch Caitlin Clark play in person in a couple of years. So I'm looking forward to that, assuming I'm still alive.
Sure, man. Anything can happen. Life is short.
Exactly. That's why I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself. I understand I'm not getting any younger. I'm 36 myself right now. So,
wow.
Speaking of the of basketball in the NBA, we have the playoffs starting. The Cavaliers do not know who they're going to be playing yet. The Cavaliers could be facing, again, as we said in the beginning of the show, either the Miami Heat, the Chicago Bulls, or the Atlanta Hawks. So the Atlanta Hawks last night lost to, the Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic officially become the 7th seed. So the Orlando Magic are taking on the Boston Celtics. Now the 8th seed comes down to tonight and Friday. So tonight, the Miami Heat and the Chicago Bulls are playing a loser goes home game. The loser is eliminated from any playoff contention and their season ends. The winner has to play Atlanta, who got blown out by the Magic last night on Friday, and the winner of that game gets the Cavaliers on Sunday. So again, the Cavs will either be playing the Atlanta Hawks or the Miami Heat or the Chicago Bulls. All three teams, very beatable in my opinion. I don't really see anything wrong with any of them. Truthfully, I was more afraid of the Orlando Magic out of these 4 play-in teams, and the fact that Orlando gets to go kind of beat up Boston makes me really happy because Orlando has had a very good season. They're one of the better defensive teams. They're very physical. I love the fact that they get to play Boston in round 1 and kind of bang them up a little bit. So I'm very happy about that. So the Cavs start Sunday at 7 p.m., opponent to be determined. We'll find out in a little bit. I think the games are literally just tipping off or just started. I haven't checked scores or anything like that.
Miami's game just started because I was watching my bets. Yeah, they just started.
Okay. So yeah, I knew it was starting at like 7:30, 8 o'clock, whatever. So we have that going for us. Very exciting. But we'll look here at the overall bracket in the West, if it wants to work.
Got to move my
or not. There it is. And yeah, now we'll go here.
Look at that. You're getting this whole thing down now.
Getting there. All right. So, same thing. We have a couple play-in games. George jumped the gun here a little bit because we do have some, like the Grizzlies lost. So, I don't know what's going on with this. All right. Yeah, George got this bracket. The Suns aren't even a play-in team, I don't think. So this is a very old bracket. I don't know where he got that from. The Thunder are the 1 seed. The Thunder do not know who they're playing yet. The Golden State Warriors won last night. The Golden State Warriors have moved into the... Yeah, this seeding's way off because the Lakers are the 3 seed. The Grizzlies are not the 3 seed. The Grizzlies lost yesterday. So, yeah, I don't know where George went rogue on this one, but the Thunder are the 1 seed. The 2 seed is the Rockets. The 3 seed is the Lakers. The 4th seed are the Nuggets, I think. I'm going off the top of my head. The 5 seed.
So the 1 seed is the Thunder. The 2 seed is Houston. 3 seed is Lakers. 4 seed is the Nuggets.
Yep.
5th seed is...
We skipped 5. Who's 5?
That's what I'm coming up to right now. What team is that? 5th seed is who?
I thought 5 was the Clippers.
Yeah, okay. I'm just looking at the logo. This weird logo. They are, the 5th seed, and the 6th seed is Timberwolves.
Yeah, that's right. Timberwolves are the 6th seed.
As of last night,
seed is now Golden State.
7th seed is
Warriors.
The Warriors. Yep. And now, right now, the 8th seed is Minnesota. Is Memphis, and they play the winner of the Kings and Mavericks.
Yep. Yeah, the Kings and Mavericks play tonight. Loser go home. And then the winner of that game faces the Memphis Grizzlies, and the winner of that game gets the 8th seed. So that's your Western Conference matchup. George, I don't know where he got this one from, but it's a little off. But that is your Western Conference seeding. Gun to my head, let's go through them really quick. So we have the 1 seed, the Thunder. It doesn't even matter who the 8th seed is. I'm taking the Thunder. I don't know if you had a different opinion on that, but I'm going with the Thunder.
That should be an easy first round for them.
Yeah. The 2 seed Houston Rockets taking on the Golden State Warriors is interesting because Golden State is actually the favorite. They're minus 200 to win that series. I have to agree. Houston's played Golden State very well in the regular season, but that's the regular season. I don't think Steph Curry's going to let them shut him down like he did in the regular season. That experience with Draymond Green, with Steve Kerr, with Jimmy Butler, I don't like them as a favorite by any stretch to even compete for the championship, but I do think they have enough to beat the Houston Rockets. So I will take Golden State to win their matchup. Then next up, we have the 3 seed Lakers taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. I am going with the Lakers. I think Luka and LeBron are scary, and I am going with that veteran talent to go to the next round. And then we, last but not least, have the Clippers taking on the Nuggets. I am going to go with the Clippers. Hate to do it. I like the Nuggets, but Jamal Murray's been banged up. The Nuggets just fired their head coach a couple of weeks ago, which didn't make any sense to anybody. A week before the season ends, they fire their head coach. Jamal Murray's not healthy. The Clippers, for whatever reason, if everyone's healthy,
didn't they fire the GM too? Was it GM and the coach?
No, that was David Griffin from the Pelicans. He got fired.
That's a good guy. We should bring him back to Cleveland.
Yeah, I would take him in a front office role. But I'm going to go with the Clippers. Clippers have been playing really, really well lately. If Kawhi Leonard's healthy, they are a really good team. Ivan Zubac has been playing like the best center in basketball lately, and I think he could dominate these games. He's been putting up 20 and 15 every night like it's fucking in his sleep. So that's my Western Conference prediction. We will continue as we go along, and we'll pick our favorites to go to the finals and all that shit as we go along. But for right now, since it's just starting, we'll just do a first-round prediction. We'll have time to do a second-round prediction next week once the playoffs are actually set. That moves us along to the Eastern Conference. Eastern Conference, let's see if we got it right. Cavaliers could be playing the Heat, so that's not correct. Celtics are at 2, taking on the Magic. That is correct. Knicks taking on the Detroit Pistons, who aren't even on this list for some reason. So that's off. And then you have
the Pacers and the Bucks.
The Pacers and the Bucks are that one's accurate. So a little off again for George, but we're trying. The 8 seed again is either going to be the Heat, it's going to be the Bulls, or it's going to be the Atlanta Hawks, to be determined. So George was close on a couple of these, but it is what it is. I am going to go with the Cavaliers to beat whomever. I am going to go with the Pacers to beat the Bucks because I don't think Dame Lillard's going to be healthy. He had those blood clots, and
he's not cleared for basketball activity right now.
No, he's still not able to play. They traded away Chris Middleton, who was kind of the heart and soul of that team, for Kyle Kuzma, and that hasn't really benefited the team at all. So I am going with the Pacers, who are just a fun, fast-paced team who the Cavs' second unit almost beat the other night, which I find very funny. And then you have the Celtics taking on the Magic. I'm going to go with the Celtics, but I think that could be a much harder series for the Celtics than people will realize because I think, again, the Magic are playing really well since the All-Star break. Paolo Banchero has been playing fantastic basketball. They're one of the best defensive teams in basketball, and I think that's going to be a tougher matchup for the Celtics than most people realize. Then we go to the Knicks and the Pistons. This is truthfully might be my favorite matchup of the playoffs. The Pistons are...
This is going to be a rough one. This is going to be like a beat 'em up.
The Pistons are one of the most physical teams in basketball, as are the Knicks. And they are taking each other on. JB Bickerstaff legitimately could win Coach of the Year over Kenny Atkinson, and I wouldn't even feel bad about it because JB Bickerstaff has done a great job. I give nothing but props to him for what he did to turn around the Detroit Pistons. Just for shits and giggles, because I like pissing my friends off, give me the Pistons in this series.
Yeah, fuck the Knicks.
I think the Knicks, Tom Thibodeau has been known for running his players into the ground. He overworks them, doesn't give them, like, they could be up by 30 points. He's playing his starters in the fourth quarter. He overworks people. He makes guys tired. Now it's playoff time. I'll take the younger, fresher, more physical Pistons over the soft Knicks, who have a banged-up Jalen Brunson, a very soft Karl Anthony Towns, Josh Hart, who is... a Jekyll and Hyde kind of player. One night he can give you a triple-double. The next night he'll score 4 points. They're very inconsistent. They traded away like 4 first-round picks last offseason to get Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges averages like 8 points a game. He's not very good. Their bench is suspect. They have Mitchell Robinson, who's an average-ass center. So give me the Pistons. And that is my first-round prediction.
Well, I agree with you. Nothing really surprising about that first round, honestly. I mean...
No,
it's going to get dicier in the second round for sure, but that's pretty. I think first round is pretty predictable when it comes to.
I saw a funny post today someone on Twitter made where you can show like a timeline and like the chart after like that shows you months, and it showed the Western Conference and how their conference, aside from the Thunder and even the Rockets, there was like up and down of teams switching from like second place to fourth place to fifth place, sixth place, up and down. The East top 4 teams hit in like January, never changed. It just all across the board. They were like the Eastern Conference was so fucking level that, I think it's, I like my picks. I like who I'm going with and I'm sticking with it. But yeah, nothing too surprising for me. Now we get into a fun thing here that I'm going to actually have Kyle help me lead the way because I don't really follow wrestling right now. I'm very behind. So when it went to Netflix, I was so excited. I watched it. Not going to lie to you, haven't watched wrestling since.
I'll be honest, you're not missing much.
That's what I've heard. There's really like the storylines aren't doing it for me. I'm a huge Kevin Owens fan. I saw he's hurt. He's going to miss a lot of time with a neck injury, so that's a bummer. Nothing's really been drawing me in. It's just another like I want to see John Cena in his farewell tour. I would love to see him get a belt, the belt one more time. Other than that, really nothing is interesting to me.
Here's the thing that killed it, right? So I think for the last, not this past week, but the last 2 weeks, they've been doing a European tour, right? So like people being able to watch Netflix, like watch it live, it's been like earlier in the day and no one's been watching it. No one's like caught on to the storylines. Anything you're watching, you're catching it like next day, like in replays or something. So they really haven't given like us the chance to really buy into like the stories, right? Because I mean, I know that Cena's wrestling Cody, right? We know that storyline. We know that there's a 3-way match between Punk, Rollins, and Roman Reigns. Got that. But the other matches, we've seen no build up to it because the last 2 weeks they were all in Europe, right, where they get big hits. But it was on Netflix at 2:00 in the afternoon. Like
that's what I was gonna say. When it was overseas with USA, they would record it. It would start at 8 o'clock.
Played 8 o'clock at night. Yeah, absolutely.
And then now I go on Facebook and people are like, "Oh man, that match between this guy and that promo was great." And I'm looking, I'm like, "Dude, it's 4 o'clock. What are you talking about?" And I realize, oh shit, Twitter started and ended already.
Yeah, I would see Twitter updates with people like, talking about like that match or what Raw, like whatever, replay.
Like, here's the full results from Monday Night Raw from Monday at 2 p.m. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not going to go back and watch it now. It already happened.
The only couple of matches I'm like excited to actually potentially watch, obviously, is Cody and Cena. I think there's going to be some shadiness and shit that happens in that match, kind of like last year's main event. I think The Rock's going to get involved. I think there's going to be some twists and turns. That's probably going to be the match of the weekend, if anything. I think Cena takes it. If I'm guessing, I think Cena wins. They give him 17. They give him the belt. They give him the 17, and that builds a storyline up until like SummerSlam, I think, and then he probably gets it back to Cody, right? I just think that's what's going to happen.
I'm cool. I've become a huge John Cena fan strictly because of his acting.
Oh yeah, and he's playing perfectly into this heel role.
Oh my god!
So and
he's so good.
He is so good on the microphone. Between him and Cody, they're both good on the mic, and so they're back and forth, tit for tat. I mean, Cena's probably the best guy in the mic by far, but it's just hilarious to me, like how well he's playing into the heel role. But the other matches of the night that I'm pretty excited or whatever, Roman Reigns, Punk, and Rollins. I'm not excited it's a 3-way. I mean, whatever, but I mean, it should be interesting. There's a lot of intertwined storylines with Paul Heyman and stuff like that. So I'm curious to see what happens or what comes out of that. And the other one I'm excited to watch, as funny as it sounds, is AJ Styles versus Logan Paul, just because Logan Paul
Flyers, I think they could put on a really good match, truthfully.
As much as you want to hate Logan Paul, man, that kid he's
a natural wrestler for WWE, truthfully. I hate the Paul brothers, Jake especially, but Logan is a douchebag, but he was meant for a wrestling ring. Like, he's actually a really, really good, entertaining WWE wrestler. Yeah. I'm shocked.
The only other thing the weekend that I'm curious about is that, I don't know if you saw this or not, but Kevin Owens supposedly is stepping away from wrestling because of a neck injury. This was 2 weeks ago. We don't know. I don't know if it's a storyline or it's not. So he was supposed to wrestle Randy Orton, which I was kind of excited to watch. Supposedly now Randy Orton has no match. So we don't know if we're going to have a surprise entrant in Mania, maybe somebody new coming in to wrestle Orton or something, or if it's a storyline and Kevin Owens shows back up. But there's video of Kevin Owens leaving the arena, and someone basically said, "Dude, stop trying to sell kayfabe. We know you're bullshitting or whatever." And Kevin Owens got in that guy's face, is "You think it's fucking fake? You think this is real fucking fake?" It was really weird. So it's either he's selling it amazingly, or he truly is not wrestling. Because they did go back and show he injured himself. It was during a match. I think it was with, I forget who it was, but he got power bombed. I think it was Cody. He got flipped over on the ladder, and you see right where the ladder hit the back of his neck. So,
I remember seeing that. That was bad. I think it's real from what I've heard. He's going for second opinions and stuff like that. So they're either doing the greatest job of the selling it, or it's a legit injury, and they're going to have to come up with something and pull some strings at the last minute, because that's what I was saying earlier. I'm a huge Kevin Owens fan, and I'm a huge Randy Orton fan. So I was really excited for this match. This was my personal favorite match of the weekend. And then when I found out he got hurt, I was like, dude, that fucking sucks. I love both of them so much.
Either it's a hell of a job.
Randy Orton's my favorite wrestler right now. Randy Orton.
Yeah.
He's been my second favorite wrestler after Stone Cold for a long time, and then I love Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is probably my third favorite wrestler of all time. So those two together, I was like, fuck yes. And now I personally think it's real, but again, could be kayfabe, could be a great acting job from one of the biggest veterans in history.
He's been known to sell a storyline pretty well, right?
Exactly.
But if it truly is real, then it opens that door for that surprise entrant, like, for Mania. Like, who's it going to be? Some people are rumored to think it's Malachi Black, who's back from AEW. What's his face? Aleister Black was his name in WWE. Or there's other names of people coming up and getting a chance. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but that's the one downfall so far right now. But the other matches, I really don't care about.
Yeah, same with me. There's it doesn't feel like a WrestleMania. There's no huge match where you're like, hell yeah. Like, do you think there's going to be I truly don't even know. Does somebody have the Money in the Bank briefcase right now?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Usually somebody always comes in and does the cash in at WrestleMania. I don't know who has it.
The other champion. Well, actually, no, I take that back. There could be one more big interesting match. Is Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. That could be interesting.
That could be fun. That's some really interesting people who are not afraid to take risks. That could be a good one.
That could be interesting. But the other one that's championship is Jay Uso versus Gunther. I could give two shits about it. The fact they had Jay Uso win Royal Rumble is mind-blowing to me. I
get it. Jay Uso gets the crowd behind him, but to me, that's not enough to give somebody a championship. If you're going to do that, then how did Elias not get the championship? How did LA Knight not get the championship? All these guys who got the fans behind them in the biggest way got huge pops. They did not reward them with the belt. Jay Uso gets guys to do a fucking hand bob, and they're like, give him the belt. He sells merch.
It's a political thing. I think it's just a behind the scenes, hey, payoff. Hey, thanks for sticking with us for so long. Here's your opportunity to run with something. I think Jay wins the belt. I think Jay runs with the belt for a while. And I think it gets intertwined back into another family feud, and he loses it maybe to Roman or something. I don't know. We'll see. But I think I think that's just a payoff for backstage for that entire family basically coming up through the ranks.
That's the thing for me that's really turned me off from watching wrestling is this whole family dynamic of now you have Roman Reigns, the Usos, you've got Sika, or however you say his name. They're all fucking related and cousins and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Do you guys have any diversity with who you're promoting? Everyone you're pushing to the top, they're all fucking related.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I like this version. I like this version of Roman right now. I like this whole doesn't have the belt, kind of doing his own thing, kind of just having fun, whatever. I like Roman Reigns without the belt and the Mysterio.
I hated how they forced him down your throat. Now it's natural because he doesn't have the belt. Now it's okay, let him create a character and actually build a fan base. Yeah. It's not hey, we need this guy to be the championship, whether you like it or not. So we're just going to shove it at you. I hated that. It truly made me hate Reigns because I'm like, cool, him again. What the fuck? He's going to win again, and he's going to take 6 months off. Who cares?
And let's be honest, Punk still has it, man. Punk's still pretty good in the ring. His age,
for sure. I would love to see Punk nice run.
Yeah, I would love to too, but we'll see. I'm not excited. I'll watch it. It's this weekend, right?
I think so. Yeah, I didn't know it till that's why I texted you yesterday. I'm like, hey, can you do a WrestleMania segment? Because I'm like, there's no way they're going to have it on Easter Sunday, but apparently they are. I didn't even know it. I thought it was next weekend, so it shows how much I pay attention.
I'll maybe watch it Saturday night. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
WrestleMania in Vegas. Yeah, I'll turn it on if I remember. I forgot we have some shit to do this weekend. I don't even know what time I'm going to get home. So, we'll see. Fuck it. Now I'll let you steal the show. I watched it because I had money on a couple people, but I truthfully don't care enough. I know it's a big deal that Rory won, but I'll let you lead the charge.
It is a big deal. He hasn't won a major tournament in 11 years. And the only one he hasn't won has been the Masters. So now he's considered a Grand Slam winner, which has only been done by 5 other people. So he's in good company with that, right? But Roy's that kind of guy you just hate, right? You love to hate because whatever, just fuck him. But it was probably the best Masters I've seen in forever. Some of the shots that were made, the back and forth, the top of the field, it was probably one of the best Masters I've seen in a long time, and coming down to the playoff. What sucks is I forget who he's in the playoff with. That same guy. Justin Rose. Justin Rose lost in the playoff in the Masters a couple years ago to someone as well. So he's been in this scenario before, and he lost in the playoffs.
He missed the fucking putt. It's his own fault.
Yeah, I know. He left that. He went just 3 inches to the right on that putt. He could have drained it. But But no, I mean, congratulations to Rory now, right? I think he wins another major. I could give two shits. I think Rory's attitude shitty. I think the best storyline of the weekend was the fact that Rory was interviewed with the woman that supposedly he cheated on his wife with. That had to be the highlight of the weekend. I don't know if you saw that storyline or not.
I didn't even know about that. I don't know much about him. I didn't even know that was a thing.
So him and his wife went through like a separation, like in middle of the year, where I guess they said they were calling for a divorce. So there were rumors that Rory and Amanda, I forget her last name, the woman who basically does all the PGA interviews, had a fling, right?
Beats
they were
me.
together. Yeah, right. So, but the best part was now they rekindled. So him and the wife are back together, and then at the end of the Masters, they sit down and have an interview with her and him. So like that's the fact that they allowed that to happen amidst all this other stuff is just mind-boggling to me. So, but it was
pretty funny that even happened. But yeah, no, I'll watch it again. I've been very lucky with my bets lately.
Yeah.
And I had Zach Johnson to finish in the top 20. I did it on Friday morning, and every day FanDuel was doing a boost, and I took him, and I ended up winning like, I forgot how much. It was like a plus 650 bet. I think they'd let you put $10 on it, so I won like $60. Thank you, Zach Johnson, for not choking. What were you saying? You were saying something about...
Yeah, so like the next tournament's a PGA Championship, which is down in North Carolina. Then the one after that's the U.S. Open, which I'll be at. It's in Pittsburgh. So I'm going up for like the Saturday, Sunday over there to watch it, which would be kind of fun. But those are the next two big majors. And then it's the Open, which is over, I think, in St. Andrews this year. So Rory has a chance to win another major. You got 3 more tries this year to do it, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, again, I only watched it because I had bets on it. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have even turned it on. But even after Zach Johnson finished, I knew I won the bet because I watched enough of it. I was like, I'll watch the playoff. I'll at least see who wins. But like all my friends and people on social media were like, "Oh my God, Rory, that was amazing." For me, he hit the putt, won, and I was like, "Okay." I turned it off and started listening to something else. Like I moved on with my life very quickly.
Some of the shots he made where he had to curve that ball around the tree line was, I mean, it was pretty amazing. I mean, to hit it that far out with your iron to curve this.
No, I agree with what you're saying. It's one of those situations. He's one of those guys of kind of like, fuck you. Like, you're so good at golf, but you're also kind of a dick. So it's like, fuck you.
That's where he gets the hate from, man. It's like, he's so good. He just has a shitty attitude. So go fuck yourself.
And I kind of felt bad for Justin Ross or Rose, whatever his name is, in the playoff. Like, this dude was kind of an underdog, had no business being there. He would have been, I think they said, like the oldest. He won the Masters before, but there was some weird statistic of him being like the oldest guy to do something in the Masters to like win a second. I forgot, whatever. But it seemed like a cool story, a nice underdog. And every time he shot the ball, there was like, cheers, but then Rory's up and they're like, Rory. Like it was like fucking Happy Gilmore. And I'm just watching this dude and I'm like, he doesn't seem that fucking cool to me that where he needs a cheering section like that. Like that's crazy to me. I didn't understand it, but
they wanted the Grand Slam. They wanted him to hit the Grand Slam. That's why we were cheering.
I didn't know that he never had that before, to be honest. So that's why that makes more sense. But it was just weird to hear people chanting his name like that. And the other dude, they're just like, nice shot. And then Roy, they're like chanting and fucking doing keg stands. It was fucking weird, but whatever. All right, now we're going to switch to a real sport, and that is Major League Baseball has officially started a couple of weeks ago. Season's interesting. It's beginning of the year. It's cold outside. Teams are slowly coming to their own. The Guardians are surprising me. I'm going to be dead honest with you. They are currently 9-7. Bit of an easy schedule, I'll say. They faced the Royals a couple times. They went to the Angels of Los Angeles, and they lost 2 out of 3. Then they finally came home, had their home opener against the White Sox, faced the Royals again, and now they are in Baltimore where they're losing tonight, but they won last night. So again, they're 9-7. They're teetering around the 500 mark. Everything's kind of going as expected. Again, it's beginning of the season. Jose Ramirez is kind of struggling. Kyle Manzardo started off as our best offensive player, and he is struggling terribly over the last week. Emmanuel Clase looks like he will never be able to pitch again. He is a shell of his former self. The bullpen's been doing really well, and then our starting pitching has been okay. You don't know what you're going to get. Like tonight, Hunter Gaddis got smoked. Or not Hunter Gaddis, I'm sorry. Who pitched tonight? Whatever. I don't remember who was the starter. Last night was Logan Allen, who you expect to get shelled. Logan Allen pitched like one-hit baseball. He was fucking fantastic. Gavin Williams started tonight. That's it. Sorry. I get him and Hunter Gaddis confused. Hunter Gaddis comes out of the bullpen. Gavin Williams is the starter. So yeah, Gavin Williams got shelled. It looks like they're currently down 4-1, and they were down 4-1 in like the third inning. So he got hit up pretty easily or pretty early in that game. But yeah, 9-7. They're teetering around 500, which kind of what I expect. The rest of the division is terrible, which is not what I expected. I thought the Tigers, I thought the Royals, and I thought the Twins would be a little bit better. But the Twins are pretty bad. The Royals are pretty bad, and the Tigers are okay. White Sox are, of course, dog shit. So nothing really too surprising, though, in baseball. The Dodgers are really good. The Padres are really good. And the rest is kind of the field. The Yankees are okay, even though they have the big payroll. The Mets are average. Like teams you expected to be great. Again, it's super early, but no one's really standing out to me right now besides the Dodgers and the Padres. So, gun to my head, I think the championship goes through the West, but we'll see.
Oh, I mean, there's no doubt about it. It goes through the West. You know what I mean?
I think even like betting wise, the like FanDuel and all them had the Dodgers as heavy favorites to repeat because I mean you got fucking Ohtani. How can you not?
Dodgers are just insane, man. That entire team is just insane.
Yeah, they just get better every fucking year. But I'm okay with it. I like the Dodgers. They're my West Coast team. So if not the Guardians, I prefer the Dodgers. So I'm happy with that. Now it's time for everyone's favorite thing. I don't think you sent Georgia just the tip, did you?
I did not. I honestly it's too much busy in the last 2 days. I didn't even think.
No worries. I don't have a picture because I don't know how to do all that. So you'll just have to go in raw here with nothing.
Yeah, I mean, the only tip I was going to think about was the fact that I just started. We just started rewatching New Girl for the second time on show. It's like our Jess and I's like show to watch before bed now, you know. But I just can't get over how fucking hilarious that show is. And if I had a Nick Miller friend in my life, life would be so much better, I think, because Nick Miller, that character, Nick Miller, is his character is fucking amazing. Every time he does anything, I just laugh my ass off. Like we just watched the episode last night, or the night before where Prince was on it, and like Nick has this like freak out episode or whatever, and he like screams and passes out, and like I was crying laughing because it was so funny. But my only tip would be just give the show. I know the show's been gone now off TV for like 4 or 5 years, but it's a hell of a funny show to watch. So that's
Tara used to watch New Girl. I would see a couple episodes here and there in passing. I've never really sat down to watch it. My thing that I've just never been able to get past is I watched a couple episodes, and I'm not going to lie to you because I didn't know anything about the show. I thought the main girl, Zooey Deschanel's character, I think it was Jess. Her name's Jess.
Yeah.
I thought she was mentally challenged. I'm not kidding. The way she acts, I honestly thought she was a mentally challenged person. So I was like, okay, that's kind of like funny for her, I guess. And then I found out, no, that's just how she acts in the show. And I've never been able to get past that. Speaking of New Girl, though, besides you guys can clearly see my just the tip, which I'll get into in a second. I have 2 recommendations for everybody. They're not things I'm willing to like. For me, they're great, but they're older, so I don't. I won't make it just a tip, but just a recommendation. And you made me think of it with the talk about the New Girl. I believe the character's name was Schmidt. I don't know the actor's name.
Love Schmidt. Yeah.
I don't know his name in real life, but the actor who plays Schmidt was in a movie that I watched the other day, which surprisingly, I don't know how I never heard of this movie, how it flew under the radar, but there's a movie that you can find on Amazon Prime, I believe is where I watched it. It's called They Came Together, and it's starring Amy Poehler, Paul Rudd. It has Bill Hader. It has the guy who plays Schmidt. It's got fucking the dude from Law and Order SUV or SVU, whatever. It's got Kenan Thompson. It's got Jason Matsuzakis, who you'd recognize, I'm sure, if you saw him. It's got such great actors and actresses in it. It's a parody movie.
Really?
It's like the movie Scary Movie, but about rom-coms. They're literally just making fun of romantic comedy movies the whole time. They're doing every cliche. It's funny. There's just dumb shit happening in the background at any time. I laughed my ass off through this movie. I've never heard of it till the other day. And yeah, it's 10 plus years old. The cast is dynamic, and I don't know how I'd never heard of it.
Holy shit, the cast is huge.
Dude, it's crazy. It has so many people from Saturday Night Live.
Matthew Brayer, Jason, Bob from whatchamacallit, the NFL league, the league. Christopher Molinelli from SVU, Ellie Klepper from The Office, Ed Helms. Jesus, you're right.
Aaron from The Office is in it. Ed Helms was in it. I forgot about him.
What a cast, man. Wow.
It's a great movie. It's only like an hour and 20 minutes. It was funny as fuck. Again, no going into it that it's like scary movie, but for rom-coms. They're making fun of rom-coms. And it's so fucking funny, dude. I really enjoyed it. There's a scene in there with the dude from Law and Order during their Halloween party. And I laughed my ass off, dude, so hard. I don't want to spoil anything. It was so fucking funny. I truly really liked the movie. Like, it was great.
I'll have to watch it. I'll put that on the list to watch. That's great.
And then my second recommendation is a show that's on Netflix from the dude who made that show that I love called I Think You Should Leave. It was a show on Comedy Central called Detroiters. Him and his best friend, they're in real life, they are from Detroit. So they made a show together where they work at a low-budget ad agency in Detroit, and I think they only did 2 seasons. It was on Comedy Central. It's now on Netflix. The episodes with no commercials are like 20 minutes long. I fucking love it. His name is Tim Robinson. I think he's one of the funniest people in the world. He has a movie coming out next month.
I see a trailer for that show like last year.
For Detroiters?
Yeah. I think I saw like an episode, like not an episode, but last year for like a trailer for it. Or like
it was on Comedy Central like 5+ years ago. It was only on for 2 seasons, then it got canceled, and then it just went to Netflix a few months ago. But again, you can rip through both 2 seasons, 10 episodes. They're 20 minutes long. You can watch it really quickly. But I personally I find his humor so funny. It's my kind of shit. So highly recommend checking that out if you get a chance. But again, it's an older show, so just something I recommend. But that gets us to my actual tip, and this is a book that I ripped through in less than a week. I'm not kidding you. I read about 250 pages of it on Sunday alone. I could not put it down. Fahrenheit 182, Mark Hoppus's memoir. Great book. I read Travis Barker's memoir a few years ago. He came out with a book maybe like 10 years ago, whatever. But Travis Barker didn't join Blink-182 until 1999. Blink-182 had already been a band for nearly 10 years. So he didn't have the beginning stuff. He basically jumped in right when they were getting popular. His life story is cool, but Mark Hoppus' story is Blink-182. He was there from day one. He goes through how he met Tom DeLonge. They skated together. They decided to start a band. And it goes through everything from the very beginning of them playing shows to literally 0 people inside the bar to becoming the biggest band in the world, to their breakups, to his cancer. It has everything in it. It is a fucking phenomenal book. And if you know like his humor and Mark Hoppus's like character, if you will, this book reads just like how he would say it. It's so well done. And again, I'm a diehard Blink fan, as everybody knows, so maybe I'm a little biased, but it is a fucking fantastic book. I learned so much about the band. I learned about their old drummer, stuff that I didn't know about. Really good behind the scenes stuff, and just learning about Mark Hoppus and his like anxieties and depression that he's dealt with, and then going through the cancer and all the shit that he's had to deal with in his life, his upbringing, his parents getting divorced. It goes through everything. Fantastic book. I can't recommend it enough. I fucking loved it. I truly, like I said, I couldn't put it down. I started it. I think I bought it on Tuesday on its release day. I started it probably like Thursday night, and I finished it Monday.
Oh, wow.
Ripped through it in just a few days, and it's like maybe 300 something pages. But yeah, I read about 200 something pages on Sunday alone. I couldn't put it down. So highly recommend checking it out if you're into music, if you're into Blink-182. I loved it. Spoiler alert, good chance it's my favorite book of the year because it really was that good. So that's just the tip.
It's amazing. Good deal.
Before we end, George threw this up, I think, for everybody to see. So this is for, let me make this smaller. How do I do that? I'll throw us over there. That's fine. This is for the draft night special. So I will be sharing this in a little bit on social media, but everybody, next Thursday, we will be live for the first round. Kyle's, I think you said you have bowling and stuff.
So what, next week? No, I'll be here next week.
On Thursday.
No, I don't have bowling. I'll be out of a hotel Thursday.
You said you'd be out of town. I couldn't remember. That's right. My bad. So Kyle will be out of town, but we're going to be doing our draft special.
Is that why he cut me out of that picture that's right there?
No, I think he just didn't know you were going to do it. I thought we talked about it, but maybe he didn't. But regardless, I'll tell him to edit that to make sure there's room for two. But yeah, so Kyle's going to be with us. We're going to watch the first round together, and we're going to have. I need George to make it to where we can put a third person in because again, I'd like to send the link out to friends and have people hop in with us to ask questions and shit like that. So worst case, we'll have people talk in the chat. That'll be fine too. But next Wednesday, we're doing the mock draft special. Next Thursday, we're doing the live episode. I can't wait. The draft is my favorite time of the year. I am fucking ecstatic, and we will go from there. So this is a quick look at the potential layout for next Thursday.
I like it.
In case you guys were wondering. Yeah, it's come a long way from looking like the I don't know how to make a smaller. I don't know, George, what the fuck? Looking like the Jamaican flag. But anyway, that's going to do it for us this week. We're ending a little early because we did start a little early, and that's going to give time for Kyle to finally eat his dinner with some utensils. Yeah.
Dinner, actually, an episode of not Deadpool, but Daredevil, and then bed. So
I haven't started that yet. I'm going to go watch The Floor, the newest episode of The Floor.
Nice.
And
oh my god, did you watch Jess just watch Power Watch this show the other day of Escape Plan? Have you seen that on Hulu or seen the preview for it? It's basically I think it might be a Hulu exclusive, but you have a way of watching shows that are not on whatever. But it's basically Hulu. It's a house of like I think 10 to 15 people, and so there's like basically money that's given like every day you go by, every minute more and more money gets added to the pot up to a potential $1 million, and okay. you go into a room once a day and you get this like escape plan, like, and so you're basically locked in a house, you can't leave. But if you can make it out of the house without anybody else knowing it or seeing you or firing the alarm, you win money, and whatever money's in the pot, you can take that money. You can get other people to kind of help you get out of the house if you want to. And if you do, they split the money with them. But like, it's funny because like there's people watching from above. All the windows are locked and only like certain windows get unlocked at a certain time. I don't know. Jess watched it one day. I caught the very end of it. I thought it was pretty intriguing, but I don't know. You like those kind of like reality kind of shows like that. I think you'd probably like it. I think they're.
Yeah, I like shows that have like, I don't want to say that have a meaning, but like I like shows where there's like a competition. Like I don't like reality shows where it's like these people are just dating. Like I don't get that. But a show with like a goal, or like one of the rare reality shows I like is The Circle on Netflix, because people are pretending to be other people or they're themselves, and you kind of have to guess, do you think this person's being genuine? Do you think they're catfishing? Let's vote them out secretly. There's an objective. I like shit like that.
It's called Got to Get Out. It's a show on Hulu. Got to Get
Out.
Yeah. Okay. So I think you'd like it. I think you like the competition. There's no dating, there's no whatever. It's just everyone competing against each other. And
I'm cool with that.
There's sneaky plans to try to get out of there without being caught, and the key is you have to run down the long driveway to get to the end of the driveway to get to the car. And you have to do it without anybody seeing it or firing the alarm. But they actually throw stuff in where you can have like a 15-second delay in the alarm. You have like a 10-second delay on the button that has to be pushed. It's a really funny show. But yeah, I mean.
Oh shit! It's got celebrities in it. Spencer Pratt, Omarosa. Yeah. Okay, I thought it was just random people. Okay.
I know it's like celebrities too. It's quite interesting. I only caught the last 3 episodes, but it caught my attention. But yeah.
Hell yeah, I'll check that out for sure. I'm into shows like that. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for us. We are going to get out of here. We're going to let Kyle chill, and then we are going to talk to you guys next Wednesday at our regular time. Thank you to George for getting all this set up for us while he is at his son's event or game. I forgot what he's doing, practice, whatever the fuck. But thank you to George for getting all this set up. Thank you to George for stealing all of our topics last night from what I heard. I jumped on for a little bit. I didn't get to actually join, but I jumped in the chat and talked with them for a little bit.
Well, it's funny because you put the chat topics in for our show, and then I look at like the headline.
I think that's why George asked me to send it to him on Mondays from now on, because I'm helping him make his show.
Topic we put out, like I saw like in his headline for his show, they were talking about it. WrestleMania, the Cavs, the Guardians, everything. I'm like, oh, come on, George.
He did that on purpose. That's why he asked for it so early. I'm now the producer for my show and George's show, apparently. But hey, I'm okay. He gives us a good discount when we pay for StreamYards. I'm okay with it. He does this damn near pro bono. He does all these slides for us, puts in all this work. The least I can do is let him steal my ideas. But all seriousness, thank you to George for getting all this ready for us. I'm getting better at running this board without him. So I definitely miss him here, though, because it makes it easier for me to just sit back and not worry about it. But I think I did a good job today. So, with that being said, everybody, thank you so much for watching and checking in with us. I will talk to you guys. We will talk to you guys again next week, a week from today, with our mock drafts. Cannot wait. Hopefully, George can get that website going for us, like we asked, so we can show you guys live as we do it. If not, we'll write our drafts out old school style. That's completely fine too. But I'll talk to George. We'll hopefully get an answer by this weekend so we can get those knocked out. So, thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll talk to you next week. Have a good one. Cleveland, this was for you. Any minute now. I clicked end stream. Oh, there it is. End stream. No outro video.